right, let's get started. Get started. I can say it. Hold on one second. 3, 2, where's the button? There it is. Hi, everybody. Oh, boy. It's Fallout. Day 3. 2.5. 2 and 3/4. What is it? The Republicans are... they're trying their best. They really are, to try and act like they're just outraged that the weaponization of the FBI and how out of control Merrick Garland and his political flaky hacks are. They're just going after this president like they've always wanted to, which is why it took them for fucking ever. This is clear now that this is going to give them, this is going to breathe new life into their, there was a big thing today and then everybody forgot about it, except for the Republicans who are flipping out, who, I put out a thing this morning based on my rant at the end of today's morning show to see if I'd get any takers from MAGA. I even hashtagged it and everything. Usually all I have to do is write MAGA without any qualifiers in my thing, and that's enough to bring out the bots. And I did hashtag MAGA and hashtag America First, and nobody, I mean, minor, relatively anonymous fucking accounts are coming out to defend him, like to a couple of people. And then one dude who's always hanging around my feed. But that's it. I mean, it's almost as pathetic as the gathering of a dozen people outside of Mar-a-Lago to throw themselves under the bus for Trump, or the non-existent boat parade, I'm sure, that was flailing by. Maybe they're just upset that the PACT Act got passed. Maybe they realize that's a bigger fish to fry than even this bullshit. Now, I went long last night, boy, did I. And we saw a bunch of wailing and gnashing of teeth. Harris Faulkner was freaking the fuck out about what had happened to Trump. She was torn apart. She was desperate. She felt that it was a betrayal. America brutalized by the horrible Biden regime. A lot of the use of the word regiming going on. And yet, in all this process, let me find one thing real quick. In the entire, in the ferociously weak response, quite frankly, I'm gonna grab something real quick. Hold on. To all this stuff, one of the things we kind of had a break for, because it was sort of related, was the Dark Brandon stuff that came up, right? And there was this, the stuff about the Dark Brandon meme was sort of driving them crazy, because at the same time that we were all, watching this stuff go down with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and which was a long time coming and not at all surprising. And the thing you have to know most about the Mar-a-Lago raid is that it was 100% predictable because of their intransigent prickishness towards the Presidential Records Act. That's all it was. No one should be surprised his fucking place got raided. He was a dick about it. He put other people in charge, including Patsy Baloney and a couple other people who no longer work for him, by the way. So they're not doing their job of relating with the National Archives at all. He's since, I mean, a lot of the people that he put in charge of handling that issue are, I think, all but 3 of them have testified for the January 6th committee and are no longer in contact with Trump. So, anyways, during that thing, there's the Dark Brandon stuff comes up, and Fox News has this little flip out about the Dark Brandon memes. And, we like them because they're ironic and funny. Nobody takes them that seriously. Even when we post them, we're like, fuck you. It's a pushback. But nobody has this, we take it about as seriously as that, the Phil Hartman sketch about Reagan, So interestingly enough, I just want to show you the tip of this one, just the tip. By the way, the White House had nothing to do with this. The rest of us were doing this for fun. The idea that when Fox News shows you who they are, believe them. And what they are effectively messaging shock troops for the Republicans in the RNC. And so, of course, they think the White House controlled this as opposed to people just thinking it's funny. It's very cringe. It's so cringe. Cringe taken to a new level. I don't know. I've seen some cringy shit. It is the internet, after all. Definitely. You know, it's almost... The problem with this much cringe is Botox will often take away your even ability to cringe, and so how can you cringe? Oh, sorry, the audio. My bad. 1 second. Totally cringe. Everyone's saying cringe. Here we go. Sorry, I turned that part off. Here we go.
Here are the Dark Brandon.
It's nothing really what they're saying.
Reaction
I was basically just talking over it. It's exactly what they're saying.
after the White House tries to rebrand the president. Cringe taken to a new level.
Cringe taken to a new level.
Definitely.
Definitely. And if I could cringe, if my face wasn't so full of botulism that I could cringe, I would cringe. I'd cringe. Biden supporters celebrate cringy Dark Brandon memes. Harris Faulkner. Wait a minute. What's that behind my right shoulder? Oh. Wait, you're telling me that's not a Fox? That's not a Fox News channel lower third happening there? Who's that from?
Never thought I would agree with Faulkner, but
there you go. I'm glad they took their time out to this is how they're answering the Dark Brandon meme stuff instead of just laughing it off like normal human beings. No. It's the one opportunity for Anna to come to blaze into the Fox News studios and high five Harris Faulkner.
But I definitely agree. This
is so gross. Oh my God. Critics mock White House Dark Brandon memes. By the way, that would make her, that's the real, this Biden supporters celebrate cringy Dark Brandon memes. That's the TYT lower third. This is what Fox actually wrote, which means she's included in that group, according to Fox News. She's there. And look at the, like, ugh, God. At least she doesn't have to talk about the PACT Act passing or the CHIPS Act passing.
This is pretty cringy.
It's pretty cringy. And we know it's a joke, but...
And it started off ironically, and unfortunately, Biden supporters went into the territory of genuine posting of these Dark Brandon memes. Now,
yeah, is that how we're doing it? We actually think, we genuinely, as Biden supporters, think that he sits there with a patch over his fucking eye and in a Machiavellian hand-rubbing supervillain way, his eyes like, get the fuck out of here. Jesus.
The Dark Brandon.
Oh, they mentioned me on this episode? How can they not, though? I mean, my balls are literally in the top of the screen almost every day now.
Meme, again, was originally an internet meme intended to make fun of Joe Biden.
And fuck me if somebody didn't turn it on its head and make it a silly celebration of how fucked up the Republicans' Rambo and Rocky memes of Trump are. Damn it.
But now it's being used.
Now it's being used to not make fun of him, but to just kind of point out the fact that he's accomplishing a bunch of shit in a funny, internet-y kind of way. And apparently, people who voted for Joe Biden who are happy about the PACT Act and the CHIPS Act and the infrastructure bill and not being in Afghanistan and the deficit being cut in half and insulin caps and all the stuff that they're working on. Like, those fucking people.
To celebrate him.
We're celebrating him. It's terrible.
Brandon originates from Dark MAGA, the super cringy meme from a few months back when...
Yeah, so it's like that was super cringy, and so they mocked the super cringy, and then it became cringy that they weren't cringy enough for her.
And Biden referred to MAGA as Dark MAGA.
No, he said Ultra MAGA.
And they actually sounded a little cool, and they decided to run with it, and they put out all these memes of...
I don't know, maybe he said Dark MAGA at this point. It's all dark at this point.
Donald Trump, in their minds, looking super cool. And so here's another one, very.
If you've seen the laser eyes on internet, that's what it is. That's the dark meme, okay? They used to do it just for Trump, now they're doing it for Biden.
Yeah, it's the same people though. The same people who are making the Dark Brandon ones are the MAGA people. It's all pro-Republican stuff though. That's the case, I guess.
It's cringy no matter what. Please stop doing it.
No, as a matter of fact, I think we need more of them because why the fuck would this irritate TYT? Why do you care? The fact that you can't even let this pass shows how cringy you fucking guys are. It's a gag. Piss off. The childish thing about this is like, ew. We don't. Look, how are we supposed to push the ageism and the dementia storyline that everybody else pushes to shit on Biden every time he accomplishes something that we're mad he actually did? If somebody hippifies him, God, oh fuck.
The only time it's not cringy is when it's being used ironically.
Yeah. Okay. It should be. We didn't write that it's being ironically. It's not. But instead of you guys actually doing it as a fuck you to Republicans, because that's not right. That's not fair. That's mean. We don't support that here.
No, that's what I was going to say. To be fair, when they started Dark Brandon, it was actually really funny.
Now it's not funny because they keep doing it and pointing out the accomplishments that he's doing, and that's not what it's for. It's supposed to equalize in our viewers' minds Trump and the Let's Go Brandon thing and Biden and his accomplishments, and just kind of muddy it all up into the same fucking thing so that we can say the system is shitty, throw it out, don't vote, fuck voting. That's our whole game plan here. So
because it was like,
Biden
was going to put an end to all the malarkey, and it's already funny.
Yeah,
and
because he, did.
The idea that Joe Biden is some sort of like political killer is hilarious. That's why it started funny. Now there's like massive Biden fans, like the HAL Sparks of the world.
Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. All right. I didn't even know that was in this. I did not. I had no. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. The HAL Sparks of the world. That's what we're gonna call it. Sparklers, that's what you are. You're the HAL Sparks of the world. Sparks, this is the hard part with my last name is that it already has an S on it. So pluralizing it is a real pain in the ass. I insist that it's that you have to say the HAL Sparkses of the world. I honest to God, I did not pre-watch this. This came up in my feed, and I was like, oh, they're covering the Dark Brandon meme or whatever. And then she says, I agree with Faulkner. I was like, oh, fuck this, and I just moved on because who cares? Oh, I feel like I wish I could hold on. Where do I have? I know I have something in. Let me see if I can. Yeah, this'll do. Give me 1 second. It always takes a moment because there's so much. I have so much technology in here. Let's see. Go to here, and we go to this, and then we come over here, and let's see. I need to go to here, and then I'll see if I can just as my nuts just kind of drop down and rest on Cenk's forehead. I'm older, so they hang lower. I'm 53 next month, so this is completely reasonable. Just I almost feel like the the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme should come in. It's the only fleshish tone I have. Give me a break. It's that or very yellow. I got limited colors here to work with. Calm down. It's an annotation thing. I don't have a giant. I'll have to get a giant testicle PNG to use in the future. Oh, that's so good. Hold on.
Funny. Now there's like massive Biden fans, like the HAL Sparks of the world.
Way to go! By the way, hey everybody who's coming over from the TYT chat room to flip out over here. I did not see this coming, and I don't mean Nazi, but I'm kidding, not Nazi. That's rude. Young Turks is enough of a slam on someone. I mean, I think that even works as a pejorative, considering where the name comes from. The similarities are shocking. Oh, I honestly, I'm just enjoying this part. I had no idea that Trump getting raided on Monday night would somehow lead in a kind of Thanos time stone ripple into this. The number of the Dark Brandon memes making them that upset. And let's also remember, if we can, in total reverence, let's remember in total reverence that this is in a piece where they think that I unironically think that Biden has a dark Machiavellian evil streak that allows him to have his power instead of just being, from the Senate, having been vice president in history and knowing how shit works and getting a bunch of bills passed, and that the Dark Brandon thing just irritates maggots. And the funny thing is that this prick and the sock puppet, on his left, ironically, both of them, how do I put this? Nicely. Without, all right. Both of them, the most upsetting thing for them is that we're dunking on maggots and they're not.
Now there's like massive Biden fans, like the HAL Sparks of the world.
I'm just enjoying this. I'm genuinely, surprisingly shocked. This is good. Hold on one second. How do I clear this thing? Is that it? Okay, that's good. I so rarely use that thing. That they what? Does Anna, well, maybe Anna mentions, hit that fucking guy.
We're like,
oh my God, HAL Sparks.
Oh my God, HAL Sparks.
Oh my God, Biden is so tough.
Is that how my stuff reads? I mean, be honest, guys. Hold on one second, if I may. Let's see, take this. Get under here, hold on. Takes a little, I mean, I'm doing this by myself. I don't have a big corporate setup like the Young Turks do. Here we go. I feel so small right now. I know, that fucking guy, am I right? Am I right? Oh my God. So crazy. Like the whole thing is so fucking crazy. That's so crazy.
Of the world. We're like,
oh my God, HAL Sparks.
Oh my God, Biden is so tough.
Oh my God, Biden is so tough. You're so right. He's so tough. Oh God, I just love that guy.
But there's
actually something awful about all this. I don't know what he goes on to say. Hold on, let's find out. All that work and all they do is go to the 1-2 shot of them. I mean, maybe Cenk has a thing that, like a rule at the Young Turks that they can't two-shot him with Anna, or she's only agreed to another extension of her contract if they promise not to two-shot them together more than 1% of the program. Hold on.
Real underlying point here.
Yeah, what's the real underlying point?
People are now unironically loving Dark Brandon. Dark Brandon's an ass kicker and doesn't care about anything, and will break the rules to go punish Republicans.
No. That has fuck all to do with it. That's literally just in reaction to, hey, I know these guys are going to see this clip later because obviously they're watching. Hi, guys. Yeah, right here. I'm sorry. I should have showered this morning, but you got something right on your forehead since you're watching. This is what we're responding to. Not some hyper macho wannabe Trumpism bullshit. Here, and the fact that you fucking can't deal with things as simple as this is the issue. This is why you're freaking out. This is why the TYT crowd are freaking the fuck out. None of us are like, oh yeah, he fucked up. The whole like he signed off on the FBI raid petting a white fucking cat or some nonsense. And the fact that these assholes can't spot that, don't recognize it, and are so just anti-actual progress shows you that the business model at TYT is always be the opposition, even if that means fucking with the country to get it that way. So that make it bad as best you can so you can go, look what's happening, it's terrible. Don't you agree? Join TYT, go.
That's right, and to fight back and to get things done.
Get things done? To get things, you mean to get things done? You mean getting things done? What things are you talking about? The what now?
The reason why it's popular is because Joe Biden doesn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't fight back and get stuff done. He's not signing any stuff like that. What the fuck? Yeah. I mean, have you seen Jon Stewart this week? He's livid that the Senate and the House passed the PACT Act, and Biden's just not going to sign it because he can't be bothered. He was golfing, I think.
And Democratic voters are
going to vote. Okay.
Brandon memes.
Okay, well, I don't know why that jumped back, but I don't care. I wasn't going to watch that whole thing anyways because I don't give a shit. Let's move on, shall we? Hold on. Anyways, congratulations on our living rent-free. The HAL SPARKS Mega Worldwide Show lives rent-free in the heads of the Young Turks every fucking day. And because some of you lovely folks apparently are either showing up in their Twitter feeds or their chat rooms, or they're just seeing my clips and going, this motherfucker won't keep his nuts off our forehead. And he's also pointed out the fact that they're a bunch of bullshit artists. But we could spend all day on those assholes. They dig their own holes, so who cares? We'll deal with the real issue out there, which is the hilarious takes by the right wing about the FBI raid on the sacred territory that is Mar-a-Lardass. Ladies and gentlemen, we were looking. Mark Levin was calling into places to flip out yesterday. That wasn't going to be enough. I wasn't going to suffice. It wasn't going to be enough that Mark Levin would just be on the phone. I needed to see this man and see his true reactions. I wanted to see what was really going on. They say the eyes are the window of the soul, and even if you don't necessarily have one, or yours is for rent, like Mark Levin's, we still want to see what the fuck is going on. Let's find out. This is Mark Levin Show. The title of this is it's very understated, as you would expect from someone like Mark Levin. The Cabal to Destroy Trump. Nice, by the way, reference to the QAnon crowd, which I think is the last of the dead enders in the maggot crowd. There are no maggots left that aren't also Qs. There are none. There used to be, not anymore. That's why the crowds are getting smaller. That's why only a few dozen people have been freaking out. They're all Qs. They're all the same fucking people. They're even people who won't let go of the QAnon stuff even after it's, Trump lost and none of it paid out, and none of it, hold on, why is it? Oh, I see, because that's up on the screen. I see. Sorry, this is probably wrong. Should I just go ahead and these are terrible nuts. I know, but what do you do? They're like Flintstone nuts. These might not be mine. These may be just Fred Flintstone's testicles. Just Levin's just gonna have to do the whole thing with testicles on his forehead. I'm kidding. All right, come on. Let's serious. He's probably, you know what? He probably has a balanced, understated take. It's wrong of me to assume that he's going to be a blithering asshole. Here we go.
The Democrat Party is an evil force.
All right, well, at least right out of the gate, he was like, look, I don't want to be hyperbolic about this. The Democratic Party is an evil force. Are we sure this isn't a TYT clip?
Whether it was slavery or segregation.
Slavery or segregation. All right, we're going Dinesh D'Souza route. We're gonna forget the whole Dixiecrats Southern flip and them moving to the Republicans. We're gonna just pretend none of that happened.
Whether it was its marriage with the Klan, whether
it's marriage with the Klan, which since basically the Democrats are the Klan, according to him, it was the first gay marriage. So it's all.
It was Jim Crow and so forth. Is a
so forth.
Very evil force.
It is, yeah. Especially since the civil rights movement, where the Democratic Party has been the driving force of all positive social and civil change in the country. Now we're just gonna pretend. All right.
They don't support the founding. They don't support the founders. They don't
support the founders. Oh, you mean they're still upset about the whole 3/5 of a person and you can't have it. You can't have that the Democrats don't support the founders because they were slave owners, and then say that they're the same fucking. All right, it's all cake and eat it too with Mark Levin today.
Don't support the founding documents.
No, not the founding documents, except that they should apply to everyone equally, which is. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that and upset you, Mark.
They resent the limits the Constitution places on them.
Well, obviously not. I mean, especially when they're earned office holders.
We have to fight for our Bill of Rights every day, whether it's free speech, freedom.
A man speaking into a mic on Fox News while being filmed, going out over cable, is reminding you got to fight for free speech.
Of association, freedom of religion, the right.
Freedom of religion or lack thereof, sure.
To bear arms, due process, to take things close.
I'm sorry, if I may, cul-de-sac. Clarence Thomas says that all the due process rulings in the Supreme Court need to be thrown out, including gay marriage, gay relationships, and sodomy laws and the like, and a woman's right to choose, of course, was the primary one in that, and of course, even contraception, due process. But please go on.
Federalism.
Federalism. I almost choked on the word federalism, but federal.
Fight for our Bill of Rights every day, whether it's free speech, freedom of association, freedom of religion, the right to bear arms, due process, the takings clause, federalism.
Federalism.
They object to it all.
All of it. We don't want people to gather. We hate big concerts. Democrats are the anti-Lollapalooza party. We hate free speech. When it comes to, I guess, child porn and racial epithets on broadcast television, I think it's our original sin that we don't like that stuff. We don't like the freedom of one religion to overwhelm all the other religious or practices in the country and enforce a single form of religion in schools. So we're anti-religion because there's only one something.
They want to pack the court. They want to destroy the Supreme Court.
Why would you pack it and then destroy it? Are they trying to? So basically, the SCOTUS is a foie gras goose. That's our plan. We're gonna overfeed the SCOTUS till it explodes and eat its liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
They, as I speak, are protesting the justices in their summer places where they are right now.
In their summer places. Hey, where's your summer place? You guys, where are you summering this summer? Right. At home. They're bothering these people in their summer. And if they go after them once they winter, when they decide to winter in Florida as they summer in this, you can't even summer anymore. I don't understand.
Now, the border's wide open.
It's wide open. Again, if you hear the border's wide open and anybody can come in, the only people you're hearing it from are Republicans, and the only place you're hearing it is on right-wing media and Fox News.
They won't tell us why, but we know why.
Yes, because we want a bunch of Latinos to come in here who are religious conservatives and eventually vote Republican because their church tells them to. Wait a minute. Fuck. Who? Stop. Close the border. No, it's going to all backfire on us. I thought, no. I was going with the whole, I assume brown people are all Democrats. It was on a flyer I got at CPAC like 8 years ago. Turns out that's not the case. No. Turn them back. Yes, some of them. No. It turns out they are not a monolithic group. I don't know. Some sort of questionnaire in Spanish. Okay, I'll call you back.
You have crime in the streets through the roof, but
crime in the streets through the roof. The streets have no roof on them, except Fremont, downtown Las Vegas. To all the criminals out there, if you're on the street, don't go through the roof. It's not safe.
This is the gravest attack on our republic in modern history.
Terrible. The gravest attack on our republic in modern 9/11. No. Pearl Harbor. No. The attack by the CCP with the Wu flu. No, it's the infrastructure bill and the PACT Act.
They are attacking a former president of the United States who is poised to announce that he's running again.
No, he isn't.
Against the man who's having him investigated.
Well, he doesn't have to have him investigated. They're not investigating him. The Records Act part, the January 6th is looking into him, and Trump, brought that on himself. Letitia James, if Biden told her to lay the fuck off, she'd give him the finger. So, obviously, that's not him. She ran on going after him and won, dum-dum.
And do not tell me that Joe Biden didn't know what's going on.
Yes. Remember, Joe Biden is a Machiavellian criminal mastermind who can't finish a sentence or put on his coat and doesn't know what day it is. He's both. And that's how he gets you.
Any more than Obama didn't know about Russia collusion.
Well, he did know about Russia collusion. That's why they were concerned about it. We all know about it.
That is BS.
Uh-oh. He's using the big boy letters.
He's the only guy in the world that didn't know.
He's the only guy in the world yes. You're absolutely right, Mark. We all knew that Trump was colluding with Russia for fucking years. Where does an asshole like that lies to everyone end up getting loans? Why would Deutsche Bank give him loans when nobody else would? Why? Just because the majority of the money that was bouncing through there was from Russia?
This was a carefully laid plan. Let me explain to the American.
Yes, this was. Don't think for a second that all that stuff I've said about Joe Biden having dementia and not knowing what he's doing. Don't think that any of that. Throw that out. I was fucking around. That was just a tactic. That was the bullshit story. This is the real story.
People, what's going on here?
All right, please tell us. Here's what's going on. 9 assholes in their cars with Trump flags are driving back and forth in front of Mar-a-Lago to protect Trump at his property that A, he's not at, and B, they wouldn't be allowed into unless they want to pay $100,000 to $150,000 a year.
Law degree is worth about 3 cents, but I was chief of staff to an attorney general. I'm telling you what's going on here.
All right, tell us.
They have to explain why they went for a warrant and not
a warrant.
A subpoena.
Well, because they'd already been in conversations with him.
They have to explain what the urgency of the issue was.
No, they don't. I mean, Trump has a copy of the warrant himself. Why haven't you called him, Mark? I mean, you know these folks. Ask Sean. You're on his show right now, aren't you? Aren't you on there? So isn't this in case, don't they call you when Hannity needs to take a big, long, wet shit and it's not going to be a clean drop and he's going to need some extra time? So he just says the great one and then they cut to you, kill his mic, God hoping they kill his mic. And then he goes to the bathroom and then when he comes back and sits down, they make like a bing noise in your ear. And that's how you, like Pavlov, you go, I'm done. And then that's how, in that.
Did they have evidence something was being destroyed or?
No. Look, when do you think judges don't need evidence, okay, for a grand jury and a warrant to search?
Or removed?
No.
They better have evidence that this was a very substantial crime to do this to a former president of the United States.
Well, or just the idea that they were there to reclaim classified information from a public event space that this dickhead lives in the attic of would make you concerned. And by the way, Levin would be dancing a fucking jig if there were cars like this outside of Hillary Clinton's with the exact same amount of information he has based on the idea that he must believe that she's got stuff in there and that stuff, this is national security we're talking about.
United States with 30 FBI agents. Let me tell you why they won't release the warrant right now, which is...
Let me tell you, and by they, he means the Justice Department, not Trump, because he's not going to tell us why Trump won't release it, because Trump won't release it because it makes him look like shit.
Under seal rather than Geraldo's putting the...
It's not under seal. It isn't under seal. They have a copy of it. The Trumps have a copy of it. It's not under seal.
Emphasis on the victim. The reason is it's a crap warrant.
Okay, all right. Well, and you said your law degree was only worth about 3 cents. Come on. You're selling yourself short there, Mark. I'm impressed. Like some people are prepared for a certain level of complicated legalese in an argument, and I can confess sometimes I'm caught off guard. There are times when I was watching the Alex Jones trial where I don't know if it was the jargon between the judge and the lawyer or the fact that I was laughing so hard I was afraid I was going to urinate on the couch, but I was like, did I hear that right? But I appreciate your clarity in this issue.
They probably are talking about the Presidential Papers Act.
Yeah, the Presidential Papers Act. And it probably wasn't even paper. It was probably plastic. Look, there are 5 dildos that were whittled by Abraham Lincoln's assistant. And Trump used up 4 of them, and the 5th one has gone missing. And they need it back for rituals. And obviously, and you're supposed to return it to the Bohemian Grove when you're done. And Trump decided he's just going to keep it because he'd grown attached. And so they had to go pick it up. And this whole thing about the boxes is a facade. It's like when you're a teenager, you're 19 years old and you're buying condoms and you're embarrassed to do it. So you buy a box of condoms and then 5 magazines and a bunch of Slim Jims and a soda and all this other shit just to cover for the fact that you're buying a 3-pack of condoms. You're like, yeah, just this stuff. Like they're not going to get to it and go, bleep. Have a nice weekend. Thanks, man.
But what they're trying to do is grab everything they can
that he has that's classified that might slip into the wrong hands because he has it in a basement room, a storage room with a padlock on it.
Mar-a-Lago, because they're looking for more.
Why would they have to look for more?
We have what's called the plain view doctrine.
The plain view doctrine. If you walk in there and something's in plain view, you can... So This is the planted evidence part. This is where the plain view thing is the concern, where people will drop evidence and go, look, I found this. Look at here. We came in here to find some classified, some PDBs and some maps and some the knock list and a bunch of other shit. And we picked that up. But, hey, Gary, is it just me, or is that a giant bag of meth on the former president's desk? Looks like meth to me, Gary. What are you talking about? This is Eric.
You're searching documents. You got a warrant from this hack judge, hack judge.
Hack?
Oh, by the way.
Yeah, don't forget. Yeah, please. You almost went forward into the crap warrant without going after hack judge.
Mark, don't call him a hack. There must have been some. Oh, so trash the constitutionalists on the Supreme Court. Call them whatever you. But now we have found Solomon, a magistrate judge that issues this order. What a bunch of baloney. But look.
I see. So the criticisms about Clarence Thomas and Roe v. Wade and throwing out due process and the reading of the actual arguments versus he was shown evidence and he issued a warrant. Like the dude is fucking rewriting the Fourth Amendment.
Let me go on.
The lady complaining.
So what we have here is a warrant.
Oh, okay. Well, we're back. Excuse me. Crap warrant. Thank you. Keep it straight, Mark.
I don't know why we have a warrant.
You just because this hack judge, they're out to get. Well, you'll figure it out.
But I actually do. This is a
I don't know why they have a warrant, but I actually do.
Backdoor way to grab all these documents.
Wait a minute. A backdoor way to grab all these documents. The only documents they're there to get are documents that belong to the National Archives and classified documents he didn't have a right to take. Oh my gosh, Trey, thank you so much for the subs. Bless you for gifting the subs to everybody. You're right. I have not done my due diligence as far as reminding people to like and subscribe, support the show in any way you can. And if you can't, that's totally cool. And also Venmo and that kind of stuff.
15 documents. Fox had reported
15 documents. It's just 15 documents. Boxes of documents. The document just says box on it. It's kind of like the Hunter Biden laptop story. It's a hard drive that says laptop on it. That makes it a laptop. You got a document that writes the word box on it. It goes from being a box to a document. If you write document on a box of documents, it becomes one document in the eyes of the court.
That on the government side, they said this was not judicious about what they searched. Not judicious about what they searched, then how particular could this warrant have been? Well, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's almost as if, I don't know, probably not. They probably just came in there with a metal detector and some infrared goggles, and they're just fingerprint dust all over the fucking place. Trump's just afraid that somebody's going to show pictures of them using luminol in the office.
Maybe it was particular. They took those boxes.
Oh my God, not the boxes. What? The boxes?
They're hoping they can find taxes. They're
hoping they can find taxes? I'm sorry. So the FBI, this dumb, I mean, fucking hell, man. How are you this dumb? Where do we even start? Okay, so run that by me again, shithead. Oh, I'm gonna have you die, shithead.
Judicious about what they searched, then how particular could this warrant have been? Well, maybe it was particular. They took those boxes. They're hoping they can find taxes.
Oh my God.
They're hoping they can find something on January 6th.
Okay, they're hoping they can find taxes, right? They're hoping they can find taxes. And so FBI agents are getting death threats. The judge is getting a death threat. They go through all of this, which they know is politically perilous and fucking dangerous, to get, according to Shiny McDickdome over here, his taxes. Which, by the way, Tuesday, the appeals court already said the House can obtain his taxes from the IRS. They didn't need to raid the fucking place. His taxes weren't at the fucking White House, and they certainly aren't in those boxes at Mar-a-Lago. Asshole, there's already a case. They're gonna get his taxes from the IRS. They don't need to raid fucking Mar-a-Lago. The only reason Trump would be upset if they found his taxes at Mar-a-Lago is that the filings, the ones he has at Mar-a-Lago, the copies have at Mar-a-Lago, don't match the ones he sent to the IRS. They match the ones he sent to the fucking banks to get loans. And they have two different sets of numbers on them. They got that. They're looking for these boxes.
They're hoping they can find anything. Paul Manafort was correct.
Paul Manafort was correct when he said, Mr. Yanukovych, I think it'd be a great idea. I realize the people are rising up and they want to be part of the EU. And we know that there's some people there agitating. So what we could do is if we send out some agent provocateurs, you put snipers on the roof, then you can shoot some of your own cops. I know it's tough, but these are hard times. And then you can use that as a predicate to open fire on the protesters, kill a couple hundred of them, and maybe that'll clear the square. I'm just spitballing. That's what Paul Manafort was right in saying. Paul Manafort worked for Viktor Yanukovych during the Maidan. Fuck that dude. And by the way, Jimmy Dore is a Yanukovych apologist.
They went through the back door.
They went through the front gate, dummy.
They had 30 FBI agents there to grab documents. They get only one shot at this, to grab all they can.
Just grab it, squeeze it, pull on it, yank it.
Going through Melania's closet.
Why is Trump hiding boxes of documents in Melania's closet? I think it's a good question to ask, Mark, and you're right to bring it up.
Going through the safe. God knows what they did with the computers and so forth. And
well, obviously they put little like robots on them that go tick, 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 and crawl under there and then like spread out and stick. They're like little fingers go out into the USB ports, and then they could just read anything that goes through there. If I was Trump, I would throw out all that gear as soon as, have somebody, don't even touch it yourself, have somebody else throw it in the garbage, buy all new stuff. There's a Mac repair shop. He used to be in Delaware, but he moved. He's got a lot of used gear.
And so on.
So on. What? And so on. That's a crap warrant, and so on.
Shot at this, to grab all they can, going through Melania's closet, going through the safe.
Sniffing her panties.
God knows what they did with the computers and so forth and so on.
And so forth and so on. Just assume evil on the part of FBI agents, like the ones who were fucking murdered last year trying to serve a warrant like this to some other scumbag.
This is...
By the way, the dude that the FBI agents that were killed serving a warrant on a child pornographer in Florida, a few hundred miles away from this very place. You know what's weird about that guy? That guy would have loved to have met Jeffrey Epstein. Never got the chance. Meanwhile, the guy who lives in this place, who lives in this dilapidated, garish event space in the attic, pissing in mason jars and growing his fingernails out. I'm not going to let go of that. That dude used to party with Epstein.
It's a witch hunt.
It's a witch hunt.
This is a Stalinist hunt.
A Stalinist hunt. Are they hunting for Stalinists? No, you're confused. Steve Bannon is a Leninist. And if they're looking for him, he's in D.C. because D.C. is full of scumbags, as Steve Bannon has told us ever since he's lived in D.C.
They're going after a former president of the United States. Now, let me make a surmise here. It's this.
Yeah, surmise this, please. We've only got a minute left of your clip, Mark. Please, wrap it up.
Same U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C., whose jurisdiction includes the National Archives, who has jurisdiction over January 6th. He's got nothing.
He got nothing. Yeah, just because he has jurisdiction over both places, because this asshole committed crimes centered in that place. That guy isn't the linchpin. This fucker is, dummy.
Nothing.
So, bank robber robs a bank, also beats his wife. And the DA, because he lives a couple of blocks from the bank, the DA has jurisdiction over the domestic abuse the guy commits and the bank robbery. So who can't be trusted in this? The wife-beating bank robber or the DA who catches both cases from one scumbag?
Nothing, or this committee would have leaked it.
Oh, I see. So the fact that the January 6th committee isn't leaking, they're just methodically telling the story in a painful and obvious way that is chipping away at Trump's approval numbers amongst his own people, and that they had to rig the CPAC straw poll to protect him. Let me state that. Matt Schlapp made an agreement with Donald Trump to rig the fucking straw poll, and they could only pad it to 69%. They chose that number because they thought it was funny. He didn't win the straw poll. The numbers were embarrassing, but he wouldn't show up unless they guaranteed he was going to win it. Prove me wrong.
So he's looking.
He's looking.
He's looking.
He's looking for the classified documents that they have an inventory of that Trump was supposed to return, and he still fucking has, in an unlocked room at Mar-a-Lago, an event space he lives in the attic of while he rents out.
He's looking.
Alone. His wife doesn't live there. His kid doesn't live there. His other kids barely fucking visit the place. It's creepy.
For a crime in search of evidence rather than the other way around.
A crime in search of evidence instead of the... They already took 15 boxes. The reason they got a crap warrant is because they looked at the list of shit that's missing from the White House, from that should be in the archives or that should be in the SCIF, whatever they hold stuff there. And they're like, we know what's missing. Dumb fuck. We number all this shit. Trump's lucky he doesn't have an early copy of a superhero film script.
Anything they can find on Trump.
Well, they didn't have to look for anything. They looked in 3 places. They got 15 boxes of shit, dummy.
Anything they can hang on him.
That's a search warrant. It's a specific search warrant. They expect to find certain evidence of criminal activity, and they found 15 boxes of it, dummy.
This isn't about some damn document.
No, nobody cares. This isn't about damn documents. They went down there to get his Sudafed.
That's what they're doing.
They're looking for the pictures of Marla Maples that he keeps on a hard drive.
And let me tell you something. This is scarier than if it was based on the...
Why are you yelling?
On the Documents Act.
This is scarier than if it was based on the Documents Act? Of course it is, Mark. Because the fact that it's based on the Documents Act is not fucking special, other than that it's a first. The only thing shocking about any of this is that Trump was enough of an asshole to try and pull it off. Of course, what you're saying is worse than the Documents Act stuff because you're hyperbolically creating an artificial dystopian nightmare out of fucking nothing.
They are in search to try and destroy Trump.
In search to try and destroy Trump, Levin. They're in search to try and destroy... I know, it's a bad sentence. In search to try and destroy Trump. And why didn't they just wait? Why wasn't he there so they could cuff him and embarrass him? If they're trying to destroy him, why wait so long? Why wait months? Why slow walk it? Why protect Trump in any way? Yeah, he just ditches out. I guess Hannity came back from the shitter, so they just, cut it off. I'm through, and then they...
Want to see more, Mark?
No, I don't. I have no interest. Thanks. You're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. The freak out continues. Now, we haven't checked in with Glenn Beck, obviously, for good reason. One is there is nothing to be learned from ever checking in with Glenn Beck. That's one thing. The other thing is Glenn Beck is in Texas, Utah, Arkansas, the woods. I don't know where the fuck this studio is hooked up to his house, which is hooked up to his garage studio and stuff. It's like the whole, it doesn't really matter. And I don't know why they set up this ass cam. I don't know what the Glenn Beck viewers Not here to yuck anybody's yum, but this is oddly pervy. But, you know, he's got a legal expert on. Let's see who this is. Why this legal expert says FBI's Trump raid is outrageous. Hey, look, it's the word. Hey, look at that. If just so you know, if a politician or anyone uses the word outrageous, it means it's true. Whatever they're upset about is true. They say outrageous because it's one of those words. It can be true whether it's honest or not. You know, if you accuse me of something that I have done, I can still say it's outrageous that you would even say something like that out in public because it's outrageous. This is outrageous. It's outrage. It causes outrage for you to even bring it up. It's outrageous. You can tell there's outrage because there's 12 fucking maggots driving around in a circle outside of Mar-a-Lago while Trump isn't there. And the FBI have already left while Trump has told them that they are occupying the fucking place. Let's see why this legal expert says FBI's Trump raid is outrageous. Why would that be?
Professor Alan Dershowitz.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Really? Mr. Epstein, I left my underwear on. It was an old Russian lady, even though this girl that was groomed by Epstein says that she was made to service this fucker.
Back on the program.
You couldn't get anybody else?
Alan?
Ellen? It's Ellen, right? Charmed. I got this ongoing head cold thing. I'm starting to think it's Stu's aftershave.
You were one of the first people I thought of.
When I was like, who's disgusting enough to truly throw themselves in front of a bus to protect Donald Trump?
When I heard what was going on, because I knew you
would protect Trump, and you were willing to lie on his behalf,
would have an opinion, and it would force me to either rethink mine or to shore my opinion up.
Yeah, see, always makes you rethink your position.
Yep.
Tell me about the raid on Donald Trump.
Well, first of all, you know.
Wait a minute. I know there was a raid on Mar-a-Lago, but Trump was raided himself? They definitely had to use those like spelunker ropes to do this then. It's like all these tiny little FBI agents just coming down like spiders and just yee.
You know, I have more experience under the Fourth Amendment than probably any academic in America.
Okay, well, then you're the guy to throw it out the fucking window, and I'm sure you'll say, look, the judge saw evidence. He got they got a warrant. It had been months.
I understand the Fourth Amendment.
Okay.
I've written books about it.
Great.
I've litigated dozens of cases.
And it should never apply to a former president who lives in the attic of a wedding hall.
On the Fourth Amendment. And I'm a liberal Democrat who voted for Biden and against
citation needed.
Against Trump. But this raid is absolutely outrageous.
Absolutely outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. He should be above the law. So says Alan Dershowitz.
Unconstitutional.
Why is it unconstitutional? How?
You don't engage in a raid on a house unless you've exhausted all other parts.
First of all, it's not a house. It's not a house, fucko. It's a public space where classified documents might be kept. Fuck you. End of conversation. It's not his home. It's not a house. He's not even supposed to legally live there. He signed paperwork saying it's not a fucking residence. He lives in one of the hotel rooms. He uses an office there, and they kept stuff in a storage room that was you could walk down a fucking hallway. Anybody that was there could buy their way into the fucking place and get to the stuff. It's not his house. It's not a fucking house. It was never a fucking house. If it was his house, maybe so. It isn't. Just because he lives there doesn't mean the rules apply the same.
Possibilities, and the most obvious
is that it's not a house.
Recourse here was a subpoena to the president.
No, because they didn't trust him. They had already asked him for the documents back, and they knew he hadn't given all of them. They had to fucking go get them because it wasn't a house. It's not a fucking house. God damn it, it's not a fucking house. It's a publicly rented event space. Hundreds, if not thousands of people go through the fucking doors every month. Piss off with this nonsense.
President saying there are 25 boxes in your house. There's a safe. We would like you to bring them all to the court tomorrow morning before you have a chance.
Yeah, they already did that months ago, multiple times. They came there in person, like, where's the shit? And he's like, it's in a safe downstairs. Can we leave with it? No. Well, we got to come back and get it because we could bust into that place with our eyes closed in the middle of the night, and this security is fucking cheap as shit. You are a chintzy bastard.
To leave where you are in the Northeast and come there and destroy anything.
They didn't destroy anything.
And we...
All right, by the way, just the insistence that they destroyed anything is bad faith. Fuck you.
Will then submit it to a judge, and lawyers can argue some of it was unclassified, some of it was unclassified by the president, some was never classified. Some may be so classified that even the FBI shouldn't have access to it.
Well, they don't have fucking choice, do they? They have to get back stolen documents.
Some may be.
Retrieval is their job. It's his fault for putting them in that situation, dummy.
Privilege, lawyer-client, executive privilege.
No, sorry. There is no lawyer-client executive privilege that is greater than the classification of top secret documents in terms of elected officials and what they can declassify or share with their attorneys at all. That doesn't work that way. And if you do declassify stuff, you got to write it fucking down. You want to show something? Show the warrant. Trump wants to show something. He should show the warrant, and he should show the written declassification documents that he signed. I declassified all this stuff a long time ago.
This is exactly the kind of thing that needs a document-by-document analysis.
Right, but they have to have the documents back, you dumbass.
By a judge, not the FBI coming in and sweeping everything together, breaking into a safe. It reminds me of the Geraldo Rivera fiasco when he broke into the safe.
Yeah, except this one was full of classified documents, dumb fuck.
One of the big...
There was fucking 15... Look, if Geraldo broke into Al Capone's vault like he did back in the day, and we were all watching when he did it, if he broke into that vault and there were 15 boxes of classified documents in there that he'd gotten from the government, Geraldo wouldn't be a meme around that shit. Geraldo's safe wouldn't be a meme. It would be a point of heroism in American history and journalism.
Gangsters, Capone or somebody, and nothing was in there. Nothing was in there.
Yeah, 15 boxes were in there, Alan. 15, you fucking creep.
You must have a single standard of justice. I'm a friend of both Sandy Berger, who was the former national security advisor.
Alan Dershowitz has no friends. He's been complaining about how no one wants to hang out with him anymore because he's creepy. It's because they all have grandkids. That's why they don't want to hang out with him. A lot of it, he's like, because I defended Trump. No. It has nothing to do with that. It's way more baseline than that.
Advisor of the late Sandy Berger, and a friend of Hillary Clinton.
Not so much.
What they were accused of was exactly comparable. And
no, it wasn't. No, they weren't. In the case of Hillary Clinton, it was digital, meaning that the other copies of stuff already existed, and it was the fact that these documents it existed digitally, possibly on her server. They ultimately did not. And the destruction of that server would have handled that part of it, because you don't destroy something digitally that exists that still exists at the White House. It's like if you destroy your phone, your State Department phone after you leave, you're supposed to do that. It's not the destruction of documents. It's a receiver for a radio signal you no longer have access to, so you should break the fucking thing. And that includes, and you should destroy every aspect of it so it can't be put back together so that they can get documents off of it. You want to destroy it as fully as possible. That's not the same fucking thing as driving away with now 30 boxes of shit. If the argument Alan Dershowitz is making here is that these aren't copies of all the shit that he should have returned, that he had another 15 boxes of stuff that was on the classified inventory.
There were no searches of their houses. People who have been...
That's because there was never, well, I don't know about Sandy Berger, but in the case of Hillary Clinton, there was no paperwork involved in any of that shit. There was never even an accusation that they had driven away with multiple boxes of hard copies of stuff that was classified.
Found guilty of taking classified material improperly have been given fines. I don't think there's ever been a search like this based.
Yeah, but there's never been a president who spent 15 months saying, yeah, I got it. What are you going to do about it?
On the allegations made in this case. Now, don't rush to judgment. Maybe there is something there.
Yeah, maybe there is something there. It's, probably not, though. It's probably, Trump's usually the innocent one in this situation. And the FBI, who've caught like every serial killer that that you watch on a true crime special on fucking Hulu and Netflix. Those guys are the bad guys. The people at the Bureau, you really can't trust those fuckers.
Right now, the burden of proof is heavily on.
Thank you, James, by the way, for the super chat, and thank you, Grim. Appreciate that. And Thomas Anna, thank you so much.
The Justice Department and the FBI to justify what they have done.
They did to a judge, and the judge gave them a warrant.
Absent a justification, most Americans.
And by the way, what they're all asking for, what he's asking for, all these other, they need to justify this. That's a political question. That's a political ask. They are asking for a Comey moment. We shouldn't have had the Comey moment in the Hillary thing, which turned out to be bullshit after 2 years at all.
Americans will not,
much less now,
believe this was necessary. And they're going to come back and say, oh.
By the way, it's a great view of Glenn Beck.
We can't discuss it. Ongoing investigation, classified material, nonsense. Appoint a special master who has security clearance.
They don't have to, fucko. These are boxes he took from the White House. There are documents, all of it belongs in the National Archives or it's classified. If he wanted to fill out stuff that he wanted to keep with him, they provide you with copies of that shit. You don't need a special master. The National Archives are already tasked with that fucking job.
Who can objectively look through this thing, or else appoint a congressional...
Yes, because the National Archives people are all, fucking progressive psychopaths who want communism.
A real committee, not like January 6th, which includes, 40% Republicans, 60% Democrats.
And whose fault is that? McCarthy could have had other Republicans on there. He chose not to, because the only people he wanted on there were people that were going to be subpoenaed.
Have them look at this
have everybody look at it. It's classified material. Just have it, you know what I mean? Put it on the internet.
Classified manner, but we cannot accept either silence or a claim that privilege somehow or confidentiality requires silence.
But do we even know the chain of command now? I mean, how?
Yeah, no, it goes straight from Macron calls Hillary. She calls Obama. Obama goes to the Bohemian Grove. He touches the giant owl's penis, and then a little thing pops out like one of those vending machines, the little plastic bubbles, and you pop the top off of it, and inside is a little note, and then they feed that into the Biden bot 2000, and he just and he signs shit. I mean, why do I even have to explain this?
How safe is it? First of all, Ellen, we had...
Ellen. It's pronounced Ellen, apparently.
Had Hillary Clinton having some of her staff cut top secret off the top of documents in a skiff, send them to her server at her house, and we didn't go through this. What?
Had it sent to the server in the house. Well, that's because they got the server. They had it. There was no paper. There was no boxes of shit at the house.
Could possibly be.
I don't know. What could possibly be there? There's no way Trump could have taken stuff and didn't cut top secret or classified secret, which is, of course, different variations.
In these documents.
I don't know. I couldn't. Probably nothing. You know what? I take it back. Probably just personal stuff. You know, just like that. This couldn't be this important. I mean, it's the kind of shit you shrug off.
That are so vital.
Gee, I don't know. Think about it.
That
it might warrant the most extraordinary action by the FBI in the history of the fucking country. Maybe, just maybe. How is it that like we're the ones who are like, give law enforcement the benefit of the doubt, and these fuckers are like, look, I don't care what the FBI does to save lives or anything in this country. I don't give a shit that the last 2 FBI agents that were gunned down a few, just miles from Mar-a-Lago. I don't give a shit about that. Trump is pure as the sunshine, and therefore they've got to be lying.
Warrants this compared to what Hillary Clinton did.
Or compared to what a subpoena would have produced. We don't know what's in there.
Yeah, we don't know. So the best thing to do is speculate about the absolute guilt of the FBI and the assumption of innocence on Donald Trump's part, even though this has been an ongoing problem with this fucker since he left, since he's admitted to taking classified documents, since they already had to give some shit back, since the National Archives had to come back and go, it's not all there. And they went, fuck you. And they said, well, at least until we can come get it or you guys can pass it to us, at least put a goddamn lock on the door. And they padlocked it.
Maybe there is some smoking gun.
Yeah, but, that's a possibility. It's a crazy, outlandish thought, considering how normal it is for the FBI to conduct a subpoena or a search warrant on a former president's property. So since it's so within the realm of normal that, the assumption of craziness should be on the other side.
Again, he wasn't even on the premises. He couldn't have destroyed the information.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he didn't have people doing it for him. Alan, he's a lazy son of a bitch. He has other people crime for him.
All they had to do was issue a subpoena returnable this morning at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
There would have been no possibility of destroying evidence. And by the way, if...
Oh, no? No possibility? After months and fucking months?
Anyone, President Trump or anyone else, ordered the destruction of evidence, that's Nixon time.
Yeah, that's where the law came from, dummy.
That's impeachment. That's criminal prosecution. That's a serious crime.
Right. But there's also, it's not the destruction of them. It's the sale. The obvious concern with Donald Trump is financial desperation and elbow rubbing with the biggest fucking psychos on the planet. From Kim Jong-un to Putin to the fucking Saudis, this guy never met a dictator he didn't like, and they've all got money to spare. And when he gets desperate, this is his in case of emergency break glass safe.
Destroying subpoenaed material.
Yeah, we're not worried about him destroying it. Swear to God. I'm worried about him selling it, fucko.
If, that's what the law is there for, to prevent that. And does anybody believe that Donald Trump would have taken a chance to destroy material?
Yes, of course. There was stuff in the boxes he had torn up and they had to tape back together that went to the National Archives. Of course he already destroyed it. They told him not to repeatedly, and he still did it. He tried to flush it down the fucking toilet. Of course he did.
He didn't know whether there were copies of the material or...
because he's incurious and stupid?
Other evidence that it might be destroyed. This is a pretext.
No, it isn't.
There's no way that the Justice Department actually believed that President Trump would destroy the documents.
Nonsense. What year is this? This is a story from 2018. for anybody who is starting to huff Alan Dershowitz's farts here, and are like, well, I don't know that. All right. Meet the guys who taped Trump's papers back together. The June 10th, 2018. 2018. Solomon Hardy spent the first 5 months of the Trump administration working in the old executive office building, standing over a desk with scraps of paper spread out in front of him. Lardy, who earned an annual salary of $65,969 as a records management analyst, was a career government official with close to 30 years under his belt, but he had never seen anything like this in any previous administration he had worked for. He had never had to tape the president's papers back together again. Armed with rolls of Scotch tape, Lardy and his colleagues would sift through large piles of shredded paper and put them back together again. He said, like a jigsaw puzzle. Sometimes the papers would just be split down the middle, but other times they would be torn into pieces so small they looked like confetti. It was a painstaking process that was the result of a clash between legal requirements to preserve White House records and President Donald Trump's odd and enduring habit of ripping up papers when he's done with them, and what people sometimes described as his unofficial filing system. They had every reason to believe he would do this, you dipshit. He'd been doing it for years. They had multiple people assigned to just taping his shit back together. Listen to this statement from Alan Dershowitz one more time.
Justice Department actually believed that no way that it might be destroyed. This is a pretext. There's no way that the Justice Department actually believed that President Trump would destroy the documents. Now,
why? There's no way that the Justice Department would have any reason to think that he would destroy the documents, except for the fact that since 2018, they had full-time employees at the records office taping his shit back together because he would destroy documents. Never mind the story about him flushing shit. And by the way, the flushing story, the torn up and flushed down the toilet, notice that those pictures and those stories came out after this one. This story came out in 2018. This became well known. Trump had a history of tearing his shit up, throwing it in the garbage, and then they have to get the fucking garbage can and dump it back out and tape it all back together because you're not allowed to do that. So what'd he start doing? He'd rip it up and then flush it down the fucking toilet. Already had full-time employees doing this shit. And Alan Dershowitz is telling Glenn Beck that, let's hear it again. Let's hear it one more fucking time. There is no way.
Copies of the material or other evidence that it might be destroyed. This is a pretext. There's no way that the Justice Department actually believed that President Trump would destroy the documents.
He tore shit up, and they had to reconstruct it when he was still in the fucking White House. Then he took classified materials and records of shit that he did home to his goddamn golf place, his event property that he lives in the attic of. And I mean, what is that what he was doing in his fucking spare time? Just tearing up shit that looked criminal? Of course there was lots of reasons why they would think he would destroy documents, you dipshit.
Now, people say, oh, but a judge approved of the search warrant. Let me tell you.
Ugh, judges. Fucking judges, am I right?
With almost 60 years of experience as a criminal law, I've never heard of a judge ever turn.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We may have just heard one of the most beautiful, I think this is one of the most amazing Freudian slips I have ever heard in my life.
Let me tell you, with almost 60 years of experience as a criminal law, I've never heard of a judge. Let me tell you, with almost 60 years of experience as a criminal law, I've never heard of a judge. Let me tell you, with almost 60 years of experience as a criminal law, I've never heard of a judge.
Almost 60 years as a criminal. just, I mean, sometimes you're just there when magic happens. Sometimes the sunset crests through the trees. Sometimes a friend leans over in a leather chair and it makes a funny noise that they just, no matter how much they writhe around, can't recreate. And sometimes fuckheads like Alan Dershowitz accidentally tell Glenn Beck the truth.
Let me tell you, with almost 60 years of experience as a criminal lawyer, I've never heard of a judge ever turning down a search warrant.
60 years as a criminal, I've never heard of a judge turning down a search warrant. That's because he's always been on the criminal defense side of it, representing the most reprehensible people in the fucking world who've already been through the period where they, and still it's almost.
Ever.
Almost ever.
They give out search warrants more easily than Halloween candy.
No, they don't. I mean, as hyperbolic bullshit goes, this is ridiculous. But, I mean, we should just understand that he just admitted that he's been a criminal for 60 years. So I don't take everything else he says in context.
And so that's not a safeguard at all.
And again, he's basically saying, well, we have a Fourth Amendment, but we don't really use it in the United States. And it's not just because I represent people like O.J. fucking Simpson and Donald Trump, who are the worst fucking clients in the world.
Who was the judge? Do we know? Who did this?
No,
Do we know anything about them?
We don't know anything.
Do we know them? Are they Jews by any chance, Alan?
No, we haven't seen the document. Look, there is
Well, you know, Trump has it.
a search warrant in existence. We should see it. There is an affidavit in support of the search warrant. We know what happened when there was the search warrant for the FISA court.
Yeah.
It turned out to be fake.
No, it didn't.
Turned out to be filled with lies.
Well, no, it didn't. Wasn't filled with lies. There was one sentence that the dude exaggerated to try and get Carter Page's FISA warrant rescinded. The lie that was on the FISA application that they keep citing made it less likely that Carter Page would continue to have a FISA warrant against him. The application was modified so that the judge would turn it down, would protect Trump.
By the FBI.
Yeah. Well, you know, I love the FBI. I have worked with the FBI. I have worked with former directors of the FBI. It's a great organization. I don't know what the chain of command is. The White House has denied knowing about the raid, which is quite surprising.
No, it isn't.
Obviously, the Attorney General, who I also know, a former student at Harvard Law School, I think very highly of him. I supported him for the Supreme Court. He obviously had to have approved this raid. What was he thinking?
He was thinking that, holy fuck, this asshole is keeping classified material at a public event space. The entire predicate that this is his fucking home is the problem. He rents the place out regularly to fucking strangers. Ask the Secret Service if this is a fucking pain in the ass. When this asshole wants to show up at random strangers' weddings and blather.
Let him tell us. Maybe he's right.
He is.
Maybe he did the right thing.
He did.
I want to know that. Americans have a right to know that because
Americans have the right to know why the fuck Donald Trump has classified material at a public event space he rents to strangers.
We all now know if you can do this to a former president, you can do it to Glenn Beck, you can do it to Alan Dershowitz, you can do it to all of...
You could already do it to the rest of us. The weird part was that they couldn't go after Trump when he did this shit. If any of us that was the argument about Hillary Clinton that they used to say. Mike Flynn would do this all. If any of us did half of what Hillary Clinton did, we'd all be in Rikers right now. Remember that shit? Good Lord.
Of your listeners. And this has to be justified or else it has to be undone.
It can't be undone. We're not going to give him back classified material so that he can house it at his 18 feet down a hallway from a place where the bathroom is that the public uses when he has fucking like crypto company launch parties.
Could you?
Is there a problem with the fact that Mar-a-Lago is not actually legally a residence according to the state of Florida, and that he's not there a lot, and he has to move around a lot because he would violate the tax code that he had signed a contract for, and that it's actually a publicly available space?
You speak directly as if I were a person that voted for Biden and I despise Donald Trump.
Uh-huh. Oh, so talk to me then. Sell me on this. Do it. Like, be my ears, Glenn. Be my ears.
And I think he's guilty of everything and he just can't be president anymore. Why is this so important that we correct?
Yeah. Why should I care?
Yeah, look, I'm talking to you from Martha's Vineyard,
where no one likes me. These motherfuckers. We're talking about where the judges can't afford to summer and winter in places. This asshole's calling you from Martha's Vineyard, where nobody wants to fucking talk to him anymore. Not because of his votes for Trump. He'll say that, but because they all have granddaughters.
Nobody in Chilmark speaks to me anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Because of your Epstein connections. You fucking creep.
Recently, I was invited to a big event, a celebration of somebody's engagement.
Uh-huh.
I got a letter this morning saying, we
don't come.
We have been told not to invite you because if we invite you, nobody else will come.
Yes, because it's a wedding and there will be children present. That's why. Says fucking nothing to do with his relation to Trump or the fucking impeachment hearing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. And did you promise to leave your underwear on? You said you were going to leave your underwear on. And did you write him back a big letter with Sharpie where it said, I'll leave my underwear on this time, I promise?
Our social reputations will be destroyed.
Right. Because you are attached to Jeffrey fucking Epstein.
I had another event, a concert, where a good friend of mine said that if I invited you, I'd be committing social suicide. I tell all these stories.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and yet no one feels sorry for you because you fucking hung out with Jeffrey Epstein and got a massage on his fucking property. All right. Mar-a-Lago is a rentable event space, and if it had a spa there and somebody like Dershowitz was there visiting Trump and he used the spa and he got a massage there, it wouldn't be that weird because it's a spa on property in a publicly available place. It's like the spa on a cruise ship or at a fucking hotel or something like that, right? Nobody, I mean, we'd all get skeeved out by it, but because he's nasty, not because it would be that weird. He got a massage at a dude's private house in one of the bedrooms. What is that? I have a lot of close male friendships. There has never been a time where I'm like, come on over. You can go in the spare bedroom. I hired a masseuse for you. What? Wrap your head around that for a fucking second. Why? That's why. It's weird. It's a fucking private residence. And Mar-a-Lago is not a private residence. By the way, that's where all this bullshit falls apart. That's where they're like, this is the most outrageous. No, it isn't. Trump kept classified documents at a public event space. That's why they had to go there and pick the shit up. He didn't have a house in West Palm Beach that's his own private residence where they negotiate a long-term thing where people don't come and go and they know exactly who's leaving and who's going in and out all the time because it's a private presidential residence. He rents this fucking place out. So the rules are different. Go get the shit.
Naming names in my book, The Price of Principle, because the price of principle is...
Oh, fuck. Now he's selling his book. These are all the people who think I'm fucking disgusting.
It's all about what happens to Americans today when they try to be neutral, try to be principled,
try to get a handy,
try to be objective,
try to hang out in a spare bedroom of Jeffrey Epstein's and get a massage with their underwear on.
and don't pick sides. And
Don't pick sides. Asshole, you have just said in this that we don't know, and yet spent the entirety of the time saying this is unconstitutional, it goes against everything, it's illegal, this is clearly a violation, this is outlandish, it's outrageous, it's pathetic, it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. I've written books about it, I've taught classes on it. This is all a violation of the Fourth Amendment, but I don't know anything about it. We don't know the details. So until they show us the details, we're going to assume the worst of the judge and the FBI agents that carried it out, and not the dude who used to hang out and party with Jeffrey Epstein, the dude who gave Alan Dershowitz a free massage in his apartment in New York. I don't... Does this asshole just not know what people think of him? Does this asshole not think that people... This isn't like 6 degrees of fucking Kevin Bacon that everybody's attached to him. This is... This asshole is 1 degree away from Jeffrey Epstein. And so is Donald Trump. It's not even like Trump knows Dershowitz, who knows Epstein. They all hung out together.
so I would hope that people who hate Trump, who voted for Biden, I voted for Biden, are just as upset at what happened here.
No, I'm not. We're not even talking about Hillary's server was at her house. She's a former Secretary of State. Her husband was the President of the United States. That place is far more fucking secure than Mar-a-Lago ever would be. Any former president or any, high-level like State Department official or something like that is definitely going to have a more secure home than Mar-a-Lago. I have one. You have one. Anybody watching this has a more secure home with a greater awareness of who comes and goes than Mar-a-Lago. Right? I wouldn't do it, but I could tomorrow, if I started a GoFuckMe and just said, send me $100,000, I'm going to throw an event at Mar-a-Lago. My money's as green as anybody else's. They would let me in there. And do you think anybody would give a fuck if I was anywhere around? Hi, how are you? Thanks. Very upset.
As people who...
Hold on. My girlfriend brought me a tea and she heard me screaming. Thank you, my love. As long as I didn't go anywhere near Trump or if he wasn't on the property, the Secret Service wouldn't give a shit where I was going. And think about Vladimir Putin has people on his security detail that take his turds. You understand me? Vladimir Putin doesn't shit outside of Russia. He takes his shit back with him because he's afraid that the enemies of Russia will sift through his turds and medically diagnose him or find out what his favorite food is or something, and therefore find a way to poison him or go through his genetics and go, we can create a special virus out of his genes to do it. So they secure his turds. I'm sorry, Panic Survivor. And they take them back to Mother Russia. Donald Trump lives in a fucking event space.
Who are Trump supporters. Now, look, there are three groups of people.
Okay, there's three groups of people. People who have gotten massages at Jeffrey Epstein's place and taken their underwear off. People who have gotten a massage at Jeffrey Epstein's place and left their underwear on. And people who are disgusted by the notion of either.
There are the Lawrence tribes.
The Lawrence tribes.
For whom, if you're after Trump, everything's okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. Obviously, he's not for snipers.
Constitution be damned.
Nope.
Constitution was written for the Democratic Party.
Nonsense.
There's no objective status. Okay, that's one group of people.
Yes. The example of crazy off the rails is Lawrence tribe. Okay.
The other group of people are so supportive of Trump that nothing done against him can ever be justified.
Right. That would be Glenn. Did you hear Glenn go, I love those people. They're my viewers.
The vast majority of Americans want to see justice, whether they voted for or against a candidate. And that's what we're not seeing here today.
And I do mean not seeing.
And so I urge all of my fellow Democrats.
Don't group me in with you, fucko.
To object to this. We're the ones who
I don't object to this. He kept classified documents at a rentable event space. It's not his fucking house. Stop it. Stop calling it his fucking home. He legally doesn't have the right to use it as a fucking house. He rents it out to strangers. This is not about even a president keeping classified stuff at their home.
Can really have an influence on this administration because we're not Trump supporters. We're justice supporters. We believe in the Constitution.
Nonsense.
And that's where the pressure has to come.
Would you agree that the
FBI are Gestapo? Sorry, Gazpacho.
FBI's been weaponized?
They've been weaponized?
I think that there are elements within the FBI.
Elements that will follow the truth no matter where it leads them. And they are enemies of Donald Trump and therefore the state.
That have been weaponized. Okay. I do think that.
Why?
Look, it happened during the McCarthy period.
Yeah.
During the McCarthy period.
Yes.
As well. And it was wrong then.
Yeah, this is the same as McCarthyism. When they accused Hollywood writers of taking 15 boxes of classified documents and storing them at a disco in a storage room with no lock on it.
And it's wrong now. The FBI should be. Look, the head of the FBI is not a liberal Democrat. He's
he's a Trump appointee,
nonpartisan, and I don't know whether he has deliberately done these things. But remember,
you do know one thing: Trump deliberately took this shit to Mar-a-Lago and deliberately refused to give it back. That's a fact. That's clear from the back and forth they've had for the last few months.
The FBI works for the...
Fuck, man, this is going on really long.
Justice Department. They are part of the Justice Department. And so, there's an old story.
Oh, God.
Where the Attorney General of the United States during the Second World War...
Yeah, because that's applicable.
...tried to get into the building late, and the building was restricted. And he said to the guard, I am... the Attorney General of the United States. And the guard said, I don't care if you're J. Edgar Hoover himself, you can't get in here. But that was wrong. J. Edgar Hoover worked for the Attorney General of the United States. And so...
Yeah, it's a great story. Hilarious. It sounds like you're reiterating a political cartoon meant to slam government written during World War II. Where God knows there wasn't... tidal waves of propaganda being fed into the system.
So does the director of the FBI.
Oh, God. Who gives a shit?
Work for the Justice Department.
What? And that proves nothing. The fuck does that have to do with anything? Yes, he does. But that doesn't mean he has to clear everything. He's got clearance to do his goddamn job.
Is your book out yet? I haven't read it.
I haven't read it. I mean, I'm not going to.
Yet. Alan, I'm sorry to say that. It is.
And it's doing very well
Good.
on
Oh, yeah. It's doing very
Amazon.
well. Yeah, it's doing great on yankitandspankit.org.
And please buy it and review it.
No.
Because...
Why don't you send him a copy to review it, dummy?
It's all about what's going on now. It's all about... It starts out with the phrase that...
Yeah, don't tell him. Let him get the audiobook. Send him the audiobook, Alan. I mean, you read it masterfully. The weird squishing noise going on in the background during the whole thing is a bit off-putting, I'm sure, but Glenn will be used to it with Stu being around.
Partisanship has trumped principle.
Yes.
And that we no longer live in a nation governed by principles.
Whose fault is that?
We live in a nation governed by partisanship divisions. And, you know.
Yeah, I know. That's Glenn's job, dummy.
As Abraham Lincoln said, a nation divided against
itself cannot stand up and be counted. This is just so stupid.
Cannot stand. That's the nation.
Yeah. Whereas Glenn Beck likes to say, I cannot stand a country that isn't divided against itself. It's also the TYT moniker.
Living in today.
We must divide the country. I can't stand it.
I will read it.
No, he won't. Prediction. He's not going to read it.
Price of principle.
I will read the parts of the audiobook that I, at the very beginning, that in my car when I go to the drive-through at Sonic, but I will have to turn it down because even though I order the same thing in bulk every time, they never get it right.
You are paying a very high price for that, as are others. But thank you for...
He's paying a very high price? Why? Because he's not getting invited to engagement parties at Martha's Vineyard? Get the fuck out of here. That's not a high price. It's cost me friends. Apparently, these people that I used to socialize with and make money from no longer want me around their preteen daughters. I can't imagine why. I think it's because they're worried that I'll be a bad influence on them because I represented Trump in his impeachment trial. Yeah, that's why.
Having them and sticking to them.
I have a thick skin. I
don't want to think about this dude's skin. Why do I have to do that? Why you fucking got to do that? Why you got to... I don't want to think about your skin. You fucking gross.
Can bear the cost. But when
I can bear the cost. I can take it. These slings and arrows. Lord, why must you do this to your son? I am nailed to this cross, and there's a wine tasting going on. It's right over there, and I can't fucking get... Why won't you? Lord, release me from this burden. May I not be a martyr to thy cross anymore, upon thy cross anymore, so that I may... There's really some really good investment opportunities if I could just overhear what those people are saying. Father, shut the fuck up.
The people of my island, Martha's Vineyard, are not allowed to hear me speak at the Chilmark Library.
Oh my God. You're not supposed to talk in a library, dummy. Every time I go to the library and try to speak, somebody's trying to shush me. It's a fucking library, dummy. Shh.
When I've been banned by a public library.
Because there are children around.
I defended President Trump.
Because there were children around. Kids go to the library. They're worried about like 12, 13-year-old girls being at the library. That's why. It's not the fucking, has nothing to do with it. It's because you hung out with Jeffrey Epstein and you're like, a massage at your home? I hear you blackmail people with underage girls and fly them to an island. You have a weird Lolita Island, a Lolita Express is what they call it. I've been aware of the name of that airplane for years, and I know what you're involved in. Which room? This one. Over here? Excellent. Cool. Do I leave my clothes outside? Will they be cleaned when I come out? No? All right.
Then it goes beyond any parties or social convenience.
Yes, it might just be that it's you. It's not Democrats, it's Republicans. It's just a special category of fuck you scumbag.
The social inconvenience. People have the right to disinvite me if they don't like my politics.
We know.
Politics. They're wrong to do it.
Oh, no. It's not because of your politics. You are under the misapprehension that this has to do with your politics.
But they have the right.
There are other people, by the way, Trump lawyers, by the way, many of whom who worked for Trump, and before they testified for January 6th, Cipollone and all those guys, some of them are in those circles, and they're not getting disinvited. Nope. Worked in the White House for Donald Trump for years. What's his name? Hirschman. They're not getting disinvited to things like that. Nope. Because nobody's worried about them going around a corner with their daughter.
Do it, but they have no right to prevent a library from allowing me to speak, which is what's happened.
A library?
I hate to say this, but welcome to the club.
I didn't realize Glenn Beck had gotten a rub and tug at Jeffrey Epstein's house. The $70 million Upper West Side apartment that he paid $1 for. $1.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. I'll see you in Napa.
Alan Dershowitz.
Thank you.
You bet. The author of The Price.
I don't care. I'm grossed out. I feel like I need a shower after that one. That's just blech. Fucking blech. But not uncommon, if I may. There's so much. Oh my God. There's so much of this stuff. Everybody. Well, we need I don't have that much time left, but we got to double dip. Let's get a double dose of freak out and flailing. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you once again the triumphant return of the most miserable man on the internet, Raymond G. Kelly Jr. Greg Kelly, sad, destroyed by how Trump is being treated, and yet, because of his undying support, there's a silver lining, because he's willing to prostrate himself in front of Trump no matter what Trump does. It's times like these when the Trumps are desperate that they'll even go on the Greg Kelly show. And so Eric Trump speaks out after Mar-a-Lago raid. I want everyone to remember this about the FBI. All those tedious, sticky fumblings in the back seats of cars, making you want to go away, run away, all the way to the FBI. Here's what FBI raids Trump's Mar-a-Lago event space that he rents out to strangers, where he was keeping classified documents. I only have one request, that when you see these stories pop up, if you're going to respond to them, remind all these fuckers that this is a rentable event space that they had to go do this search warrant and pick up this shit at, not his home, his private residence. Knock that shit off.
By Eric Trump.
Oh my God, it's so exciting. Eric's here, and it's so excited. Whenever Eric's here, I feel like I feel like Trump loves me slightly more than Eric, so I feel like a member of the family.
Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization. And
what organization would that be? It's not a charity organization, obviously. The Executive Junior Vice President, Assistant to the Assistant Manager, the Gareth from The Office of the Trump family, Shemp Trump.
Of course, one of the sons of the 45th president of...
And a man who, even in this day and age, with a Best Buy in every town square, couldn't find a ring light and is somehow shrouded in darkness.
Of the United States. Eric, welcome back to Newsmax. How are you?
Are you okay? Is everything all right? Do you need ball salve? I can be over there with some lotion if I catch an early, I have to fly coach, if that's okay, because Newsmax.
Greg, it's good to be back on. Listen, I'm pissed off. I think the entire country is upset right now.
No, I'm doing good. Thanks. I appreciate your concern. You guys, I'm going to check in with the chat. Maybe that's not fair of me. Maybe there's somebody else. Maybe chat room. You guys doing okay? I need to check in. Here you go. Chat room. You good? Anybody? You guys mad? Happy? You feeling all right? Hungry? Anybody hungry? Anybody got gastrointestinal issues? Any? You happy? Good. Slept like a baby. Me too. Yeah, you're fine. Good. Okay. Excellent. Feeling good. All right. Maybe a minority of people. Good. Doing well. Great. Glad to hear it. Okay. I'm just checking in. Very important. Cool. Overjoyed. Happy about the PACT Act. You guys glad the PACT Act passed? Thumbs up if you're happy the PACT Act finally passed after Republicans pushed back against it. A bill that could have absolutely been put up and passed during the Trump years, but he just didn't give a shit. Anybody? Yeah, good about that? How about the CHIPS Act? Anybody? Yeah? Yeah, good. Looking good. Everybody's all right. Yeah. So Eric, I gotta. Eric, Trump sucks. Now that's not fair. Come on, we're just seeing. You're feeling sexy. All right, that's good. Somebody was feeling sexy. There it is. Yeah, we're doing all right. By the way, I feel like this is one of those moments where I really feel like I can brag about how big my chat is. What are you doing? How you doing? Don't forget to share the show, by the way. Like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Okay, let's go back to the show. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night. You guys are wonderful. Everybody's good to go. Okay, the world is upset. And by the world, he means his dad and therefore storm clouds. And by the way, Greg is near tears. Look at this. You bet your ass. The country's. I am biting my pillow in my mind right now.
You know, what the FBI did, what this administration did, Greg, is just absolutely unthinkable. And
No, I'm thinking about it right now. I thought about it. No, I thought it. Have you guys thought it? Did you think it? Have you thought about it? Can you think it again? Anybody else having trouble thinking about what, like thinking, oh, if a president left with classified documents and left them in an unlocked room in a place that he rents out to strangers, the FBI might send people to pick those documents up and escort them back to the National Archives and in the White House where it's secure. No, I thought about it. I've thought about it. You guys thought about it too? Yeah. All right.
It's hard to believe we actually live in the United States of America when you.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm shocked you still live here.
You see these antics when you see
the antics. They were wacky. I will say the FBI agents. I thought it was unfair for them to just be like guzzling ketchup packets at the omelet bar and peeing all over the furniture, which was the same color as pee anyways.
These tactics when you see
these tactics where they show up professionally and execute a warrant, staying within the realm of
kind of third world behavior.
Third world behavior. They didn't even speak English when they showed up. All the FBI agents were just going, I don't know, foreign language. Well, I don't speak foreign.
Just it's truly shocking.
It is truly shocking. It's shocking that the rules somehow apply to us now. That never happened before. We were able to get away with all kinds of shit in New York for years, and the AGs and people like Rudy Giuliani were always protecting us. And now what?
It really is. Hey,
so
where were you when you got the news? What was your...
Can you ever go back in that room again, or does it bring back too many memories and you just start crying?
Initial reaction? How did your father get the word that this was all going down?
Yes. Did you fire was there a shat signal? A scat signal? Which is basically a big circle with a turd emoji in the middle of it. That Trump knows, get to Mar-a-Lago.
Well, I gave my father the word it was going down. I got a call from our team at Mar-a-Lago, and they said, FBI.
So you weren't there? All right.
Agents just decided to come on property, raid the property.
Raid the property. And by raid, we mean serve a search warrant and walk in. They didn't actually raid the property. No windows, doors were broken. They walked in.
Obviously, my father's he was in New York.
What was he in New York for? Just hanging out?
And he's been up in New Jersey for the entire summer. And
he was in Bedminster. He just decided to go into New York for, I don't know, a deposition where he pled the fifth.
I go, you got to be kidding me. For what? Oh, sir, we don't know, but they won't allow lawyers to come anywhere, near the location. They're going through, various offices and other things. And I'm saying, they're just saying, you've got to be kidding me again.
Did you say you got to be kidding me? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Will you stop saying that? I'm trying to tell you I'm not kidding. You got to be kidding me. All right, I'm kidding. Thanks. You guys got me on that one. Wait, you're not kidding?
And this doesn't happen. I know, Greg, I know this apparatus very well, as you do. This does not happen without presidential consent. The White House knew. Mark my word, they're out there today saying that no one in the White House knew. This was 100%, mark my word, directed by the White House.
Because if it was us, we would have done this. This would be an attack.
This is a political hit on my father. They know Biden's floundering.
Why would it be a political hit? What would make it a political hit?
Polls. He's doing absolutely horrible. And so what do they do? They put on a stunt like...
Yeah, right as his polls are going up, they want to waste time with this bullshit, but they just have to.
Like this. And, you know, I want everybody to remember, and God forbid, I hate having to say this, but if there's ever another terrorist attack in this country, if there's ever another school shooting in this country, then...
Another school shooting. If it ever happens again, and that it probably won't because my dad's not in charge.
Next time you see a serial killer in this country...
The next time you see a serial killer in this country, run, I would say, just in general. Even if they're in custody, just get away. Don't even lock eyes with them. They apparently, they all belong on some sort of psychic wavelength and they can find you. I'm kidding, they can't. But yeah, the next time you just spot a serial killer on a street corner, call someone. Call the FBI.
I want everybody to remember that the FBI spent all their resources going into Mar-a-Lago to look for...
Well, no, they didn't spend all their resources. They were done in like a couple of hours. It didn't take shit.
Effectively records for a public library.
Records for a public library. Okay, so DeSantis signed off on it. It was sort of like Republican book burning.
Rather than...
basically all the stuff we were going to keep to put in our Trump library at Mar-a-Lago that we haven't even started and that we have no intention to make.
And being focused on China, who's ripping off America every single day, rather...
Are they? Is China ripping off America every single day? Oh, yeah, that's right. Biden's done nothing to bother China lately.
Rather than being focused on the threats that plague this country, terrorism that wants to come in here, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, so many other people.
Yeah, but what if the terrorists want to come in and go to Mar-a-Lago because they've read the stories that your dad keeps classified secrets in a room on property with a padlock on it?
People who want to destroy our way of life.
Your way of life. Yeah, you mean lying to the IRS and the banks at the same time while living like grifters and on borrowed money while flushing your grandfather's fortune down the fucking toilet?
Extremists who want to destroy our way of life. The FBI, because of Joe Biden and because of this incompetent administration, has weaponized this.
Look how sad Greg is. It's heartbreaking. It's fucking... This is... How dare they? How dare you? How can anyone... Hold on one second. I have to see if I have... It's gotta be this. No, yeah. I'm sorry. Greg. Be strong for both of us, Greg. I can't hold it together. You're going to have to talk to Eric about this. I can't.
The system to go after their political rivals. And that's their priority versus...
That's their priority. It's just getting back classified documents from a shitty ballroom that can be rented out to strangers.
Just keeping this country safe. I want everybody to remember that.
Remember it.
Because you better believe we're going to see one of these instances again. And it's going to be because their eye was off the ball.
That's right. Their eye was off the ball and on Trump's ball. He only has one ball now. What did they take?
That is a devastating way to put it. And I hadn't thought about it.
No, I hadn't thought about it either.
That way, and you're absolutely right. Something bad will happen. Look at how they're...
It totally will. God willing, this country will be attacked just so we can say I told you so. Sooner rather than later. I mean, obviously, they turned the boxes over and gotten on with everything else. But if, the same day, what if a terrorist attack happened that destroyed our way of life on Monday between the hours of 6 a.m. and noon that we don't even know about?
They're spending their time. Look.
Yeah, tell them.
Hey, by the way, do you think this is about records, related to a...
Yes, they broke up. He and Trump and the White House broke up and they just want their records back. Okay? And the dog. I want the dog and my records.
Presidential library, archives issues. Are they
This is a lie.
desperately trying to find something January 6th related?
Yeah, it's gotta be something.
Do you have a theory as to what this is all about?
He's got to tell.
Yeah. Greg, it's coordinated attack.
It's coordinated. It's coordinated rogue attack, which is the entire government is lined up against us with these rogue actions between them where they're breakaway factions from the empire. It's the empire and the rebels are working together. And my dad is like Luke, Vader, Yoda, something, I don't know.
My father never got so much as a speeding ticket when
He can't drive. He can't drive. He can't. They won't even let him drive a car. They won't let him have a license.
and ever in his life.
Ever. Because he doesn't drive a car. And you have to, if you get a speeding ticket, it's not even okay. He couldn't. It's not that he hasn't. He couldn't. He's that good. He's that good a person. He couldn't get a speeding ticket because he can't operate a motor vehicle.
And then all of a sudden he comes down that escalator in Trump Tower.
In a motor vehicle. He came down. He gets a speeding ticket on an escalator. They have been after him from day one.
And they try and impeach him. The
They
Washington
try to do it.
Post writes,
Right as he gets to the bottom of the escalator, they try to impeach him
that article I
for speeding on an escalator.
talk about all the time. This is when impeachment begins. He had literally, it was election day. This is when impeachment begins.
Yes, which is and what's the difference between a hyperbolic news article and the legal actions of the entire U.S. government? Nothing. Okay, nothing.
That's right. They didn't even give the guy a shot.
They didn't. He wouldn't. He got vaccinated. He did.
Impeach him the first time. They impeach him the second time. They go after Kavanaugh. They try
And he still lives inside of an old wedding cake. Where do I put the boxes? Are those the boxes of classified information? I'm on the phone with a guy right now. Yeah, $20,000 a page. You'll let me build a Trump Tower where? Well, it's free. Come pick it up. That's what I love him.
and take him down. They try and take our family down. They put arrows in me and Don and Ivanka and Melania.
They put them in you? That's terrible. They didn't even use a bow. They just come up and went, weep. Why didn't you run? Why don't you run? Run away.
And Barron.
They put arrows in Barron? Like it was some sort of Michelangelo painting or something? I don't even know.
A young kid. They put arrows in us every single.
A young, what? This is not, that doesn't make any fucking sense. What?
Single day. And when that didn't work, when he won impeachment 1 and he won impeachment 2 and he was
One impeachment, two number ones, or did he go number 2 twice?
a great president, guess what they did? They started weaponizing state prosecutors. They called up the New York AG and the New York DA. And, I can go, again, through hundreds of this.
He could go through hundreds of this. He's upset. He doesn't have to make sense. You want him to make sense. He doesn't have to make sense. He went through hundreds of this. Okay?
Peanut us
They peanut us. They penised him every day with arrows in his. They stuck him in his thighs.
single day because the man was incredibly effective.
He was very effective at removing classified documents and hiding them in a rentable event hall that you can Airbnb.
And he challenged the establishment in Washington, D.C.
In Washington, he spilled the tea in Washington, D.C., y'all. Come on.
Subpoena after subpoena
He had his penis caught in every peanut.
after subpoena. Greg, this is a coordinated attack against a man who did a phenomenal job.
Phenomenal job.
Who upended their way of life, who beat Hillary Clinton, who was the promised one, the chosen one by all
Yes, he totally kicked her
the establishments.
Yes, he did.
And honestly, it drove them absolutely crazy, and they can't handle it.
They cannot handle it. So if they could handle it, they would just go, well, you got to be president. You can keep a bunch of classified documents. Knock yourself out.
And now they watch a candidate who literally can't get through a sentence, who can't walk down.
No, and yet he can arrange a coordinated attack on a former president for the first time in the country while signing 3 bills that your dad couldn't get passed. It's rude.
A flight of stairs.
I'm not laughing, I'm upset. I get emotional and I go through these. My emotions go up and down. So if I start laughing, it's because I'm that upset. Sometimes
They see how poorly he's doing. He's doing horrible in terms of foreign policy.
yes, what the last thing America needs is more people in NATO. This thing is getting fucking crowded.
His family's a total disaster. You see what's
Yes, his son used to be hooked on crack and now he's painting. That's terrible.
going on with his son. The economy in this country stinks.
It stinks. It smells like a Florida nutsack.
Inflation's through the roof. Gas prices are through the roof.
Well, don't spray. You'll set the house on fire.
Everything sucks right now in America.
Everything sucks right now in America. Finally, something that Greg can smile about. You're right, Greg. I'm okay. You know what? Everything sucks in America should bring a smile to your face. Oh, God. I can't take it. Oh, dear Lord. Stop it.
We've lost our standing around the world.
We've lost our standing. You've lost that loving standing. Oh, my loving standing. You've lost that loving standing, and it's gone, gone, gone. America sucks. Boom, boom.
And you know what? They know.
You know what?
He's poised to get it again if he wanted to stand on that stage again. So you know what they do?
What?
They raid his home when he
Wait a minute. He lives in a rentable facility?
hasn't been there for 3 months.
Oh. Wait a minute. He hasn't been home in 3 months? No wonder he's upset. He's homesick.
They go into his house.
Why hasn't he been home? Oh, he's been in his other home. Okay, that's okay.
They want to embarrass him. They send 30 agents.
They want to embarrass him, so they do this when they know that Don Jr. and Ivanka are out of town, so that Eric is the only one who can speak for him. It's just sad.
Greg, this is third world antics. Could you imagine?
It's wacky. It's third world wacky.
Imagine if Donald Trump, when he was in the White House, ordered Barack Obama's compound in Martha's Vineyard to be raided?
I don't know. Does Barack Obama keep classified documents at his compound, and does he rent it out to strangers from anywhere to the highest bidder? I bet he does, son of a bitch.
He would have been laughed out of Washington, D.C. This isn't what you...
Yeah, because it's not a public facility. They wouldn't be worried about it. They'd go, we know who's there. We can see only a couple people come and go from the place. Family lives there. Small. I don't know.
This isn't the United States of America.
It isn't? Napa's not in America. Where is it? I gotta work on my geography.
This is crazy. This is what they do in Russia. This is what they do in Venezuela.
Not anymore.
Eric, it is insane, but
We're
I
no
sense...
better than they are.
Yeah, yes, you are. You're better than they are. You are. Because you're in America where you can get away with some of this shit.
Do you sense, I sense that this is...
I sense it. I could feel it. It's like a little tickling. Is it a tickling or is it more of an itch? It's a itching and a burning. I had a rash. It itched and burned.
It's backfiring on them big time.
It is. I'm sorry I get this way when I'm upset. It's backfiring on me.
You know, I was walking home last night.
He didn't even take the bus. He couldn't even take the bus. He had to walk. This is terrible. America stinks.
A combination of feelings.
You had a combination of feelings? Did that combination of feelings correspond with the combination to the safe that they blew up at Mar-a-Lago?
Angry, a little bit, quite frankly.
Gassy?
scared about where things were going, and then
I was at home and I was like, not because there was a black person across the street when I was walking. That's why.
I felt like I needed to do something, and
You were walking home.
quite frankly, the fundraising emails, they're all over the place every single day. I see them. I'm not supposed to give. I'm not saying I gave, but last night I felt a little bit different about these emails. And
That's so nice. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait the fuck. Hold on. I was going to hurt myself pretending to cry for any longer. This prick gets, look at the look on Eric's face. What? So what we have now just learned is that Greg Kelly gets all these stupid Trump fundraiser emails and he fucking hates them. He resents them. He gave and he gave and he gave and nothing happened, and he sees them and he can't bring himself to get rid of them. But now this made him feel different.
And I think a lot of other people feel the same way.
Eric, did people give a lot of money last night to the Save America Fund because they were just inspired?
Do you know how
much money? I mean, have you spent all the money?
How many people are on your side? And even more people see this. They see the FBI behaving this way, and they want to sign up with you guys.
Yeah, that's what it is. The campaign has taken off. Nobody even wants to talk about the midterms. They're all joining the Save America PAC. They're dumping their money into that. They're taking money that they would be giving to House and Senate races, and they're putting it in Donald Trump's pocket. God bless America.
Greg, I can't tell you how many text messages I got. How many?
That's only because you can't count past 7.
Many emails I got from people being incensed. And by the way, some of those people were pretty
some of them
moderate people. Some of the people were even on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah, a bunch of Democrats emailed Eric Trump going, "I'm so sorry, Eric."
Saying, "Give me a break." How many more?
Give me a break. Is that how they say it? Did they say it that way, or did they do it like the Kit Kat bar commercial?
Times can they cry wolf? How many more times can they attack your family? This is insane. This is the same agency that effectively framed your father and tried to ruin 3 years of his administration.
The FBI?
Going after the Russia hoax, making up dossiers, literally lying.
They didn't make up the dossier. Nobody made up the dossier. That had nothing to do with the DOJ.
The FISA courts, everything.
The FISA court had nothing to do with them either.
Everything else that happened through that, they lost all their credibility. They don't get to do this again. Now all of a sudden they walk in and yes, they've lost their standing.
And yes, sure, they had a valid warrant and we did have the documents that were listed in it, and we did have to return them, and yes, we were keeping them, and yes, we had made copies and destroyed some. And the destroyed copies they had copies of those destroyed documents to prove that we had destroyed them. Sure, but this is like third world. We were trying to live like a third world existence.
And by the way, it's not the men and women of the FBI. I know.
No. It's the transgenders of the FBI, clearly.
I know many of them. A couple of them are actually really good friends of mine.
Couple of them.
They're phenomenal people.
Yeah, it's the rest of them.
This is literally the bosses, right? They're not gun carriers. They're not great investigators. These guys are politicians who are lawyers who have otherwise rigged the system, and they do it for the radical left. And Greg, it's horrible.
Yeah, that's what the FBI is doing. They're rigging the system for the radical left. I mean, it's part of the FBI's mission statement.
Really sad. We're going to
always has been
lose our country if we allow this stuff to happen. But here's what I will tell you. Use the word backfire. It's absolutely backfire.
It totally is. This is a turning point. This is going to be great. Women are going to forget all about Roe v. Wade. Veterans are going to forget all about the Republicans pushing back against the PACT Act. People are going to forget that gas prices have gone down 8 weeks in a fucking row, and they're going to come to throw themselves on hot coals for Donald Trump because he took a bunch of classified documents and kept them at his rental event space.
This country is more pissed off than I've ever seen.
Where's Eric going? Where? On Twitter? Where are these people? Where are these pissed off people? Where's the raging? No, it isn't.
Because they don't like these antics. They know if it can happen to a billionaire who was former president who got out of office, 2 years ago, what they could do to...
It can already happen to us, fuckwad.
To the average American.
They can already get a search warrant and look at our rental properties. What are you talking about?
And their family, they could destroy them. And prosecutorial misconduct in this country is real.
Sure. No system is perfect, Di. But it's so imperfect it only affects Donald Trump. He's just so pristine. I
deal with it
That's why you plead the fifth on everything and leave. That's why this fucker pled the fifth over 100 times.
Every single day. Every radical prosecutor who goes out and sends fundraising emails, saying, I'm going to attack Donald Trump. I'm going to attack his family.
Why would that raise money for you? If this country is so pissed off and this is a turning point, why would that help them? Why is it helping them raise money?
I'm going to find something. I'm going to search for a crime. I'm going to go after...
I'm going to search for a crime. That's what they wrote. I don't think he's guilty of anything, but if you elect me, I'll try and dig up something. I don't know.
After him, you watch.
You watch.
I'm going to get him. You elect me, I'm going to go get him. They've done this the entire time. It's called fishing.
It's called fishing, and fishing is evil. Real people hunt, and they kill staked down endangered species. They shoot them from a distance. They don't go anywhere near them until they're dead, and they are ready to take the picture.
They fish for a crime.
They fish for a crime. They fuck you at the drive-thru.
They subpoena every single document in hopes of finding something. And you know what? We're a great family. We're honest. And they've never found anything.
No, they've never found anything. That's why you don't have a charity anymore. And Monday, they found 15 boxes of documents your dad took and was supposed to return.
They won't go after Hillary Clinton. They won't go after Hunter Biden.
For what?
They have the laptops.
Oh, look.
They know.
Look, he's doing the magic laptop. There he is. He has it. He's got it right there. They've got the laptop. Clack. Right? You guys can see it, right? You see the laptop? Squint. It's right there. Where it's always been. Magic is the world of illusion. Hal, how'd you do that? How'd you make the Hunter Biden disappear? That's the trick. It was never there in the first place. That's how magic works. I'm so good.
Well, the funny business. They know the prostitutes. They know the illegal drugs.
They do?
Drugs.
They know the prostitutes. They've talked to them. They've worked out deals.
They know him taking money from...
They know him taking money.
People all over the world while...
They know him taking money from people all over the world.
Peddling his father's influence.
While peddling his father's influence, which, by the way, somehow never worked out.
He got into politics when his father became vice president. The difference with us, Greg, is we got out of politics when we got out of business when my father became president.
You were never in business, dummy. You got out of business when your father put you in charge of the business while he was president. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's really interesting. Yet we're the
look to the left. Look how he's suddenly looking like this. Somebody's trying to get him back on talking point.
The ones that are being investigated all the time, and we're the people who are having.
See that now? He's looking back in camera. What the fuck was that about? Somebody's like,
homes raided. It's a disgrace.
What home? Homes? Oh, sorry. Most of us. Hopefully, if the raiding happens, they'll only raid one of my homes. Each one of us. Look. Can I pick which home they're going to raid?
A disgrace.
It's terrible. It's a disgrace to live in a rentable event.
It's so unfair, but
so unfair.
Amazing things can happen.
Yes, when you live at a country club.
In the oddest ways, I have a feeling something magnificent is going to...
Yes, this is going to push him to run just to cover his ass. It's a dream come true.
To come from this, and you and your family
are no longer going to be shrouded in darkness at some undisclosed location.
You're going to be great.
You're going to be fabulous. You're going to be great. And if you're not, I'll come over and rub your feet.
You're going to be great. And
you're going to be great. Did I mention you're going to be great?
You know how we feel, so...
You know how we feel because you've rubbed us, you've touched us, you felt us rub up against you. You felt our skin on yours. You know how we feel.
Look, hang in there. I know it.
Hang in there. I got you.
It's tough, but...
Little kitten, little buddy. Don't worry. I got you by the nipples. You're not going to slip.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you for being here.
Trump, Executive Vice President from the Trump Organization, and of course, the son of Donald Trump. Thank you, sir, very much.
Thanks, Reverend.
Thanks, Reverend. Thanks, Reverend. Did he say... What? What was that at the end?
And of course, the son of Donald Trump. Thank you, sir, very much.
Thanks, Reverend.
You bet.
Thanks forever. Thanks, Reverend. Thanks forever. What the fuck was that? Thanks for forever. Thanks for forever. He just had a moment at the end there. Thanks for forever. Thanks for forever. Thank you for forever. Thanks for forever. I'm never good. I don't know what to say. He had a Brick Tamlin moment. Thank you for Mr. Bean. Thanks for having me. Is that, you think that's what it was? Thanks for having me? Thanks forever.
And of course, the son of Donald Trump.
That's
Thank you,
great.
sir, very much.
Thanks, Reverend.
You bet.
There's a lot of missing. Thanks forever. That's it. Thanks for everything. Thanks forever. That's not enough syllables. I'm not. No. You don't get to pass thanks forever on. That was thanks fref. I'm just going to call it. I don't know how they will back up. Yep. Thank you, sir, very much. Thanks, Reverend. You bet. That's what closed captioning does not lie. Thanks, Thanks, Reverend. You bet. Thanks, Thanks for. I thought you said thanks for everything too, but there's not enough syllables. No, you do not get a free pass on thanks for everything when you go thanks, fref. Thanks, Reverend. You bet. And the you bet, by the way, is Greg saying that. He said, this thing thinks he says, thanks, Reverend. I still say, thanks, fref. F-R-E-F. I'm sticking with it. That's it. Sorry. Oh, boy. Fun times. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm sure there'll be more of this freak and fallout over the next couple of days. But one of the things I need you to keep in mind, by the way, tomorrow afternoon's show might get bumped. It's hard to say because tomorrow's a travel day. I think I'll be all right, but keep an eye out for this story about how horribly Donald Trump was treated to die by the weekend. This will be the right-wing freak out all fucking week. They will try to keep this up so they can raise money off of it and make it a horrible thing, but it will come and go in the news cycle. And it is so far from the election that any boost that they got from it is going to take a shit. If you pass a bill right now, you're going to get a boost, and then it's up to you to keep people reminded that you did something and it's going to continue to help. And in some of these cases, the bills that Biden's passing right now, there will be, infrastructure shovel-ready stuff that's going to happen between now and Election Day, which they'll be able to show that stuff they did last year is happening now and remind people about the CHIPS Act and other stuff like that. You can do that. But stuff like this is a blip. This is like fucking the baby food thing. Like it was a difficult situation that happened because of a shortage, and then it got handled, and then it's gone. And they're still going to, they're still trying to sell you on, we should still be in Afghanistan, for fuck's sake. So they're dying for a good talking point, and they think this is it. And I got news for you. It's gonna fucking vanish over the next couple weeks. Because even prosecuting him as they go through this stuff, look how long it took for them to get the grand jury together, to get the warrant, to get this stuff. And then they're going to have to spend months going through this stuff, just like they did leading up to January when they initially got the first 15 boxes. This is going to take time. This is not something where they're going to show this. Trump will try to will try to hide the warrant. And if they even show a version of it or it's released over the weekend, it'll kill this talking point fucking in a day. So they want to drag it out as much as possible, but it's going to go away. This bullshit's going to be a bunch of wailing and gnashing of teeth, and then it's going away. And it is not going to help them. And the recurring stories that are going to happen, sadly, between now and election day are going to be more about women who are, forced into dangerous situations because they can't get an abortion that is, with a pregnancy that is not viable and is endangering their fucking lives. That's a huge issue. And that's going to continue to be a huge issue as we go through the rest of this. And the Democrats are going to be chalking win after win after win after win after win. And what I would suggest for Democrats in your ads is just win, 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 win. Vote for me. I'm going to, excuse me one second. Win, 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 win. And just start putting all the things that have been passed, gun regulations and the infrastructure bill, and even elements of the infrastructure bill. Each little piece is worth selling. Rural broadband, getting lead pipes out, all that kind of stuff. Pop, pop, pop. Just hammer it. If your ads are just overwhelming, where they're not like, we've been the CHIPS Act. No, you've got to go 9 new factories, $1 billion investment. We're bringing these homes right now. And on top of that, infrastructure projects, breaking ground. Democrats and Republicans alike came together under President Biden to finally pass an infrastructure bill. And here's what's being done. And even Republicans are running on something they didn't vote for. Pop, 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 pop. Just hammer it. Your ads should be almost unintelligible. Think of them more. It's like, the original Batman movie ads or the old like Gap ads. Like, what am I? Is this an ad for a candidate or am I just seeing someone brag? Let's get Hal Sparks trending on Twitter. Go to Hal Sparks and tweet Hal Sparks #Anachenk. And is Anachenk a thing? Yes. And remember, TYT doesn't want you to vote because they make more money when things are fucked. They can't have things work. I can. Because I'm going to be, next week, I'm going to be in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm going to be in Dallas with Nerd Halen doing shows for people who are out and not in danger because of COVID and living their lives and enjoying music. And I don't need the world to be in fucking turmoil to make a living and spread joy. Same thing with my stand-up. My stand-up, when I'm doing the Sexy Liberal show, we do very specific political comedy. But all my other stand-up is what I would call socio-political. I just deal with human issues and stuff. But I don't necessarily name names or deal with policy like I do on here. I have this as an outlet. I don't have to do it there. It can be more universal. And that's what I work to do. And by the way, that is an art that's good enough in and of itself. I don't have to do anything else. If I was just doing that in and of itself is a reason to continue art and enjoy myself. So they need chaos and disorder and hate and division. I don't. That's why I can be funny about this shit. This is why I don't really get angry about it, because anger is not the thing that will ever make a living for me. I don't want that. I would never want that the way I make a living is that you get enraged and stay that way. What a fucking awful thing to do to your audience. And I will never participate in that kind of shit. I'll be honest when I'm, emotionally pissed off about stuff, but I'm not going to pretend the world deserves disorder and hatred and violence when it does not. I want the world to get past this, to past the point where politics eats up this much of our life, so that we can just get back to enjoying our fucking selves. There's other stuff to worry about. I'd rather climb a mountain than out of a hole. And I'm never going to sell anger as my existence, my point of existence as an artist or as a commentator or whatever, to the point of my stream. Not going to fucking do it. Never. I love you guys. I couldn't think of a more horrifying existence than to show up every day. All right, how do I make these fuckers mad enough to give me money? What the fuck? No. And that's why I say, if you want to support the show, please do. But if you can't afford to, I'd rather know that I'm at least cheering you up and making you feel a little better about your situation. Taking some of the pressure off of you. And so just thank the patrons that we have and the people who do help, because they're the ones who make this show possible. It makes it possible for me to dedicate the time that I do to this. I'm here 5 days a week in the afternoons. I'm here 3 days a week in the mornings, and I have a radio show on Saturdays. And the rest of the time, I'm reading, studying, or having family time, or eating, going to the gym, doing the stuff that life is really about. And I cannot tell you how proud I am of the growth that this show has gone through over the last couple of years, and that I feel like I am contributing to your guys' sense of happiness, joy, stability, sanity, whatever you want to call it. And I'm committed to making sure that I am never going to create a show where outrage is the business model. Will not. Not going to do it. So thank you, Blue Moon. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats today. Thank you, Grace. So much great news to share. You're awesome, Al. Wish I could see you live in Australia. I hope so, too. We're working on it. And oh my gosh, Carrie, thank you for the 99-cent super chats. That's really sweet. Diane, thank you as well. Donald Trump needed his money because of the rate. Right. This is true. Deirdre, thank you so much. It was a good time tonight. I was laughing as well. It's a good time. C.A. Jones, thank you so much. Aw, I'm your newest super fan. Thank you so much. Like I said, next week, if you're in the Tennessee area, I will be at Monsters on the Mountain in Chattanooga, doing stand-up on Thursday night and doing Nerd Halen on Friday night. And then we are at Legend Hall in where is it in Texas? It's not technically Dallas. It's a little sound city outside of there, whatever. Follow Nerd Halen. I'll put it up there. I got to start putting my graphics up on here. I got to have one of those like picture rotating things that people put up that just runs through all the that's what I'll do. I'll make one of those. But yeah, so I'm doing genuine comedy and genuine music for genuine people. Oh, and next Tuesday, if you're in the LA area, the Ultimate Jam Night is back, and they're celebrating the Big Four show that's touring right now. Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Joan Jett, and one other. Who else is it? One other band. Anyways, I'm doing 2 songs next week. I'm doing Wild Side by Motley Crue, and I'm doing Photograph by Def Leppard. So on Tuesday night at the Ultimate Jam Night, I will be there. And I think it might be Paulie, our host's last Ultimate Jam Night. He's been touring with Sweet, or The Sweet. And so therefore he can't do it anymore, which probably means I might be doing it more. I don't know. Might be hosting it more. That would be nice. I wouldn't mind that. I'm just saying, putting that out there. Boy, is my singing voice going to get tired. Good times. But I'd love to do it, so we'll see. But anyways, so next week, 2 songs Tuesday. Wednesday's my travel day. Thursday, I'm in Chattanooga at the Monsters on the Mountain doing stand-up. Friday night, Nerd Halen, and then Saturday night, Nerd Halen in Dallas. So anyways, love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I might be doing a short live show, like an AMA hangout thing, or I might be able to do the full show. It depends on the quality of the internet where I will be. That's my only question. If I can't, I will let you guys know as soon as I can. So anyways, take care of yourself and take care of somebody else, and I will see you guys soon. Yes, I do want to read the chats, even when I'm busy doing the show. Just because I don't reference it doesn't mean I don't see it.